Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts. I'm here with Erik Martin. If you remember in the previous video on the GS3, Erik promised a special machine, and here it is, the Marzocco Leva X 1 group. Firstly, Erik, thank you for coming back.
No worries.
It was an awesome video with the GS3s. I actually learned a lot between the AV, the MP, and the story behind it. And on that video, you promised this machine, and you've delivered. It really is a beautiful machine. But before we dive into it, you want us, for those that don't know you, say who you are, what your story is in coffee.
Yeah, sure. It's a pleasure to be back. Thanks for having me, Pedro. I've been for Marzocco for a number of years now, 4 years, and before that, I was barista running around Australia on a huge amount of machines, Melbourne and Sydney more focusing on. I've got a background in engineering, which is something that really shines true with Marzocco. So this is a beautiful example of specifically that, just that. The engineering of Marzocco is really in full effect. I'm excited to talk to you today about it.
I was thinking engineering in this group head.
Yes.
Like, hand in hand.
Yes, look, it is, when it was originally released, it was actually a challenge for our research and development team to actually reimagine what a lever-operated espresso machine is possible. And the challenge was set by our leadership team over in Italy, and they well and truly delivered. This is an exceptional product. Top of the range, a premium single group machine, and something that is spectacular. Yeah.
First things first, we're gonna have a coffee, and also just acknowledge that me and Erik are biased on this machine. We're a bit of Marzocco fanboys, and I love this machine. So if the video sounds too biased, it probably is because it is. So let's jump on and make it.
No worries. It's hard not to be biased with a machine like this. So it's nice, sturdy handle, locks in to the group head. Now this is the lever mechanism. It's actually a clutch operated system. We can go probably more into that in a little detail. Love listening to the sound of the lever. This is a pre-infusion that I'm controlling. I can lift the lever up at any time and it'll reduce the pre-infusion.
And when you're lifting the lever, you've effectively disengaged from the clutch, and the lever is now doing its own thing. And that was a safety mechanism that Marzocco implemented to stop those big levers from the past just going up and effectively hurting people.
Absolutely. So previous, maybe pre-60s or so, the lever operating machine was very popular, and there was actually a lot of workplace injuries involved with lever machines. Now I'm just going to remove the cups, and I'll explain why in a little bit. This is something that it seems quite odd or peculiar in most settings to have coffee flowing from the group head whilst still brewing, but this is the beauty of the lever, is that it's a completely manual brew, and that's something that I'm happy to share with you in just a moment. But let's enjoy the coffee. And let's get deeper.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
It's beautiful crema too. It's just so smooth. Like there's something about the lever. The camera's not really picking this up, but you just don't have any notches. It's just a perfect.
It's exquisite. It's the best coffee I've ever tasted on this machine. The best espresso extraction. And the beautiful thing is that it actually invigorates the barista to engage more and be a bit more creative with their brews. You can adjust the pre-infusion manually. You can adjust the actual pressure and the time of the pre-infusion. You can adjust the overall max pressure, and the timing can be well above your classic
30 seconds.
Exactly. This is something that you really need to think outside the box to achieve something amazing.
And for a lever machine, you do have a display that's giving you a lot of the feedback, your pre-infusion time, your pressure, and you can save that graph and not replicate it as such, but have those visual guides where you're going through, when to release the lever.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go into maybe the features of the machine.
Yep.
From a barista, what you're able to first really control and how you can actually manipulate the end product. So from the get-go, you're going to see this huge mechanical system at the top here. Now there's actually a wrench lock that you can actually adjust, and that actually adjusts the pressure, like the tension spring, which actually adjusts the max pressure of the overall unit. You've got the clutch mechanism here with different notches that actually represents the amount of volumes. When you actually engage this lever, a kind of section or area opens up just above the coffee puck, which releases line pressure or like pressure to what you've set on to the coffee puck. And that's not going to change that pressure until you actually engage the actual piston itself. So essentially the way you're going to work it is you're going to choose a lock, you're going to engage the puck, the line pressure sits above the puck, inside the chamber, the water chamber above the puck, and then once you release, the spring sets in and it engages the full pressure onto your coffee puck. Now it's a traditional lever operated machine, so what you're really getting is completely different from the usual 9-bar line pressure graph, which you're kind of used to, and what really roasters have been roasting towards for 40 years.
And you do see that pressure naturally kind of slope down.
Yep.
You've got the whole visual representation here.
It's a completely mechanical system, and the pressure is related to volume over the puck.
Yep.
So as the volume reduces, so does the pressure.
Yep.
It's a phenomenal product, and it's in the most traditional sense, the most purest sense, and it's just great, simple science and mechanics.
And compared to levers of the past that were notorious for not being stable from a temperature perspective,
Absolutely.
Marzocco really worked on the saturated boiler, the PID, the temperature, really bringing that temperature to a very stable temperature. So now you have the pressure and temperature that you've sort of controlled.
So yeah, Marzocco really doesn't shy away from its core roots and values, which is consistency, reliability. This is something that shines so true in this machine. The tech involved in maintaining such a core temperature with such a large amount of moving parts is phenomenal. The steam boiler itself with this like military grade potentiometer, it's insane. Like it's the most high caliber.
And you can also control that. You can have it activate on the way down or activate on the way up, which is kind of cool. So
yeah, it's really cool. The number one thing that I really love for this, and something that I think a lot of people relate to or people question really for the first time, is how do you find consistency with each of your shots? Now, the machine encourages experimentation and engagement to have each coffee being slightly different from the next. But the beautiful thing about this is that the electronic input for this machine is so cool that you're able to save your pressure profiles that you've just created manually and live with your last shot, and kind of create a ghost profile. So something that we're seeing in coffee shops that use the lever machines, the 2 groups or the 3 groups or even the single groups, in Southeast Asia they're quite popular with the single groups, is that they save the pressure profile for the day, and that's their dial-in. And that ghost profile is what they look for to create consistency with their espresso, which is phenomenal.
So in Australia, these are actually super rare. We're more of a milk-based culture and almost like a consistency volumetric kind of machine setup. But in Asia, these machines have taken off.
They're great, and that's something really humbling about working for Marzocco, is that we are a global business, a global company, that we are a part of coffee communities all around the world, and it's really humbling that we're able to learn from different cultures and different aspects of the different coffee communities. So yeah, what really is prevalent in the Australian market is the auto volumetrics. The key is high consistency at a high quality. But there are younger coffee communities that really are starting fresh, and it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to discovering what's possible with coffee.
I kind of remember that in coffee 15, 20 years ago here when I was starting. It was a lot more experimental and a lot more collaboration between roasters and what they could do together, and they were finding new ways. And to a certain extent, the Australian coffee community really became kind of on a global stage. In other markets, you're right, they're experimenting more, when now it's in Australia, it's more about consistency and output.
Yeah, exactly. And something that's really exciting with Marzocco as well is that we're able to speak a lot to now the consumer and the home barista that is really, in essence, getting so confident and discovering these machines like this that people want to experiment. People want to understand the product that they've been purchasing through cafes for so long. And it's so cool showing people these products like this, because
you guys have actually built a beautiful home line. I remember when I wanted a Marzocco at home, it's actually sitting back there, but I bought a Linear Classic, which was a 1-group commercial 15 amp external motor. Now you can get the Linear Minis and the GS3 AVMP. You can really bring that commercial element into the home. And even this machine, it's got a water reservoir, and it is a 10 amp machine, so you can have it plumbed in or running from a tank. It is a big machine.
Yes.
It does need a home that suits it.
Yes.
But it is a centerpiece.
Oh, it is an absolute, it's a mastercraft centerpiece. And this is something that it's just phenomenal. There's something special about it, and to have this, in any venue or any space is, we feel fortunate to be a part of. So yeah, there's something really special about it. You've got the manual kind of water chamber inside that you can see it's kind of dripping.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's just something to do. Like, we don't have the solenoids specifically that other machines would. It is really back to the roots of Marzocco's engineering and quality.
So just on that note, because I think some people might not understand what you meant, on a volumetric machine, once you cut it off, there's generally a 3-way solenoid hidden behind the panel, and that's got an expansion valve, and that third way is the expansion, which will effectively go to the drip tray, releases any pressure. We don't have that here, so the pressure's sort of depleting. We've still got that coffee cake in there, it's depleting through, and obviously still going to drip through.
Absolutely.
There. So it is a more manual, a bit more raw approach, but it's also, they've evolved the lever and brought that lever approach into the today. Absolutely.
So that's exactly right. And so this is the modern day take on the classic lever machine, and it's a joy to make coffee on. Some of the 3 groups and 2 groups can even, so this obviously has a pump in it because it's off a water reservoir, but the large group machines, or if you want to plumb it and connect it to water mains that it's above 2 bars pressure from the water, you're able to connect it without a pump,
and then it becomes perfectly silent.
It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling, because all you can hear is really the mechanisms of the stainless steel working against each other, and it's real poetic.
Yeah, it just becomes that experience. You hear the machine heat up, you hear the engagement on the clutch.
Exactly.
On that note, should we load up and do another coffee?
Let's do it, for sure.
So we've loaded the portafilter again.
Let's do it.
We're going for our second shot.
Yeah.
And we're doing things a little bit differently this time. I'll let you handle this.
Let's do it. So the first shot we did, I was a bit theatrical and let that pre-infusion ride a little bit. Let's get down and dirty with it, and let's make this pre-infusion crisp. When that first drop really hits, let's be spot on and ensure that our brew is perfect. I'm also gonna really watch the actual drop and the color change of our extraction, and really try and find that perfect spot to remove the cups from our shot.
Now you are sounding like a coffee geek.
Let's do it. A bit of a fad. All right, so we'll lock it in. Put the cups in. Now I'm gonna go for a slightly higher volume. So that pre-infusion's really locking in. It's about 2.5 to 3 bar. At 3 bar, I'm gonna let it release. Now watch my kind of movement there was quite smooth and fluid. That's something that's really important with this machine. It jotted up to about 10.5 bars of pressure, which we had preset with the spring tension already. Now it's currently dropping with the volume at about 7.5, and I'm actually going to remove the cups there. Now what you're seeing there is the residual water essentially of the extraction that some people might consider slightly bitter.
Yep.
So something that is really important with me is that I like to cut things off nice and quick. When with my experience, I can tell when something's done or something's not. So yeah, let's enjoy this shot. 33-second brew, 8-second pre-infusion, jumped up to 10.5 bar, and we removed it at about 7.5 bar.
And they can't actually see this, but on the screen, because we have the ghost profile, you can see that you've cut the pre-infusion earlier and you cut the shot. You can see like against the blue against the grey.
Absolutely.
So you can really see how the two compared.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
One thing I mentioned, like I had Damien on too, and we did a deep dive from a bit more of a mechanical and a history standpoint. But the crema on this is just so even and so smooth. You're not getting any blotchiness. It's very traditional, but very Leva, basically.
It's exquisite. It is genuinely exquisite. It is just a beautiful espresso. And there's the Leva first was released in 2017 into the market, and I tell you what, it's been very difficult for me to find a bad extraction really with it. When you really get down and dirty and you know how to use it and how it works, the mechanics of it, I've had some of the most spectacular coffee through these machines.
Actually, at Academia with Damien when they released it in 2017.
Yeah,
really
really
special.
special.
Back in 19 when they had it at the trade show at the host out of the box. Yeah, it really is a special machine. It's kind of been nice to see it just journey.
Yeah. Well, are you happy with this espresso?
I liked it.
Do you want me to save it?
Yeah, save it.
All right. Save it to Pressure Guide 1, and if you want to change it, maybe whilst you've got this lever on the bench, you're more than welcome. There we go. Boom. Done. Save for next time.
You know what? I actually like both espresso. The first one was like a bit longer. It kind of had just a different taste. This one's more pointy.
Awesome, awesome. See, this is the beautiful thing about it, is that it's all very much experimentation, and each shot can be so, it doesn't have to be so different from the next, but you have that power to really play with your variables like never before.
We've actually been doing espressos and that's all we're talking about, but it's still La Marzocco. It's got a huge steam boiler.
It does.
And it can do, like, in terms of milk, you are getting that very dry steam and just enough capacity to basically do more milk than you can ever handle.
This steam wand is incredible. Like, this is obviously a Pro Touch steam wand. The potentiometer inside is an electronic pad, so you've got complete engagement with your steam. It's very dry, as you can probably tell. Apologies. It's just so powerful. So yeah, there's something really to marvel at with this machine. Not just the espresso, but the inside, the internals, the steam wand. It's just the best espresso machine I've ever been able to use.
And much like the GS3, you do have your blend wheel here.
Yep.
So in the GS3 is obviously hidden underneath, but
yeah, a lot of the technology from other models, we don't always engineer or over-engineer our products. We know what works, and you can even see inside the boilers very similar to the GS3.
That's what I was actually having a conversation with Damien. Sometimes machines that are kind of more rare worry me, what they're going to look like in the future.
Yes.
But when you do take the cover off this machine, and it's actually cool the way the cover rail comes, cover tray comes out, and the back almost opens 2 bolts and it opens up.
Yes.
But when you do look inside, you see the parts being from La Marzocco. You see the GS3s, all the pumps, everything is in common, obviously bar the group head. So it makes me feel comfortable that if it's just an easy machine to maintain down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's incredible. There's something that that they certainly don't take for granted. The R&D team in Florence, and it's a remarkable product and something that we're very proud of.
So with this machine being quite rare, I've got a feeling there might be some questions. Our conversation could have gone in one of many ways. There's so much you can talk about this machine. So if you have any questions for Erik or myself, hit us up on the comments below. Or even if you just want to say what machine you have, let us know. We'll get back to you. And like always, if this video has brought you value, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. So Erik, thank you again, and see you guys on the next video.